In today's screencast, I'm going to demonstrate the proper way to respond to these open-ended questions. The first thing that you should do, obviously, is read the article and answer the multiple choice questions. And then when you get to the open-ended responses, know that these responses require at least a paragraph in length, which is maybe 4, 5, 6 sentences. And what you want to do for yourself is highlight the key terms in the sentence. So this sentence says, how does the author describe the role of drug companies in promoting OxyContin as a pain reliever? You could just ignore this number here in brackets. That's something that teachers are aware of what this is, but you don't need to know anything about that. It relates to the content standards. And so I know that the word author is a key term. We're talking about person who wrote the article. I think that the word describe is probably a key term as well because it has to do with the purpose of the article. What did the author do to describe someone or something? So let's continue to look at the question to determine the key terms. How does the author describe the role of drug companies in promoting OxyContin? So drug companies will be another key term there. Promoting oxy will be additional key terms. Pain reliever will be additional key terms. I'm just going to read it back one more time to myself to make sure I haven't missed anything. How does the author describe the role of drug companies in promoting OxyContin as a pain reliever? And as I'm speaking and reading the sentence out loud, I keep emphasizing the word role. So that's definitely going to be another key term. So the reason why I highlighted the key terms in this sentence is because the very first topic sentence in my paragraph needs to include these key terms. So a lot of students typically struggle with knowing how to begin to write their response, and this should make it easy for you. You take these key terms and you put it into a sentence and you answer the question as immediately as you can. So this is what I should write. The author describes the role of drug companies by stating that the companies were quick to capitalize on the excitement of OxyContin. Now I know that this is a correct answer because I had to go back to the text to find proof. So here's where it says it. Drug companies were not only quick to capitalize on the excitement, they actively helped to create it. So I'm probably going to use more information and direct quotes from this particular area of the literature to continue to write my paragraph. So as I paused this screencast and read through the literature a little bit more, I noticed that the author actually discusses the fact that the drug companies were outlandish. And here there's a quote that I probably could use in my response that says, I lost it. Just give me a sec. Here it is. In order to incentivize prescriptions for their specific opioid painkillers, pharmaceutical companies actively marketed towards physicians and pharmacists. So I can actually just copy that and paste it right in my response, but I need to introduce the quote. text also states that, and this is where I include the quote, in order to incentivize prescriptions for their specific opioid painkillers, pharmaceutical companies actively marketed towards physicians and pharmacists. You want to make sure that you have the same font type. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. You also need to have the same font size. I think it's 11. So now I really just need one more sentence explaining the role of drug companies. Let's see what I have so far. The author describes the role of drug companies by stating that the companies were quick to capitalize on the excitement of Oxy. The text also states that in order to incentivize prescriptions for their specific opioid painkillers, pharmaceutical companies actively marketed towards physicians and pharmacists. So based on what the text says, it sounds like the drug companies were the driving force behind promoting Oxy. And I can write just that since it's my own words, since it's my own words that I used. So the drug companies were the driving force behind the excessive use of Oxy, since they were primarily responsible for promoting the drug penalty. So again, I have my key terms in the topic sentence. I answer the question immediately in the topic sentence. I include proof from the article, and then I have one additional sentence in my own words that also answers the question. So let's move on to number 6. What are ways in which you think America could reduce its heroin problem? Who do you think should take responsibility for combating this epidemic? So I'm going to go ahead and highlight key terms. What are ways in which you think America could reduce what? Reduce its heroin problem. It seems like this is kind of asking a personal opinion question. Who do you think should take responsibility for combating this epidemic?